$45 million in taxpayer money. Now, that price tag not sitting well with everyone. A new AP NORC poll finds that 6 in 10 Americans say that the parade is, quote unquote, not a good use of government funds.
Protests are anticipated for the parade. It also happens to fall on Flag Day and President Trump's 79th birthday. Milwaukee police are investigating a shooting from this morning. An 18-year-old was non-fatally shot in the 2600 block of West Fond du Lac Avenue. The circumstances leading up to the shooting are under investigation. However, the victim indicated the incident was robbery-related. Anyone with information should call MPD. It's not just financial issues facing Milwaukee public schools. A new report is shining a light on a bevy of problems plaguing the state's largest school district.
Inadequate teacher training, a lack of collaboration across the district, and an inconsistent use of core curriculum, all issues highlighted in an audit published today by the consulting group MGT. The audit is the second of 2 reports requested by Governor Tony Evers to, in his words, get the district back on track. The governor's request comes as the state is withholding tens of millions of dollars in aid to the district amid a backlog of missing financial reports. The report today called for restructuring the district's central office, setting clear priorities, and improving district-wide communication. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Millions of American customers of 23andMe are at risk of having their genetic data sold to buyers. Wisconsin State Attorney General Josh Call tells WTMJ that he's filing a lawsuit in joint with 27 other states' attorney generals to prevent the sale.
It's not just general personal information. It's much more sensitive information. So we're talking about things like DNA data, health-related traits, potentially indication about what your medical risks may be. And what we are arguing is that that kind of information is too sensitive to be sold without people's express and informed consent.
More than 15 million people have used 23andMe services. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:05.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells. Ishnala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake? Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited recently completed an amazing project. Imagine a backyard with a beautiful deck, automated pergola, and an outdoor kitchen with an amazing outdoor fireplace as its focal point, creating that $1 million feeling every time you relax. Looking for a company to make your backyard scream wow? Stop by our beautiful showroom in Waukesha or visit our website at outdoorlivingunlimited.com.
I guess one of the biggest sacrifices that I think we made starting Penny Mustard was personal time.
Ben and Arvid from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
Yeah, we just lived, ate, and breathed work all the time for years.
Yep.
And that's hard, especially when you're in your younger 20s.
Yeah.
That's when you're supposed to be partying.
I do remember, I think I was 31 before I actually stayed out till midnight on New Year's Eve because I didn't have to be at a store the next day. I was 31 years old already. That was like a milestone in my life.
That's impressive. And embarrassing. Well,
probably.
PennyMustard.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers beat the Cardinals yesterday 3-2. They play again today at home at 3:10. Brewers coverage starts right here on WTMJ at 2 p.m. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're still looking at a major construction closure heading eastbound on I-43. It's causing some slight delays heading southbound on I-41 into the Hale interchange. Other than that, roads are looking all clear, no major incidents and no major delays.
Traffic is sponsored by Angela Calais and Benefit Realty.
At Benefit Realty, pay only 3.5 to 3.9% real estate commission and get all the service that you should. Benefit Realty, you pay less for full service. Benefit-realty.com.
Here's Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy, high of 68 at the lake, 75 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 56 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and storms, high of 73 at the lake, 76 inland. Monday, chance of afternoon showers and storms, partly sunny, high of 77 at the lake, 83 inland. Tuesday, showers and storms, warm and humid, high of 84 degrees. Wednesday, rain and storms likely, mostly cloudy, high of 78 degrees. Right now in Green Bay, it's 58 degrees. In Madison, it's 60 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 62 degrees. And in Milwaukee, it's 57 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Lintonen, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:08.
The following program, the Fox World Travel Show, is paid for in full by Fox World Travel. The advice and opinions expressed during the Fox World Travel Show are solely that of the hosts and guests of Fox World Travel and not WTMJ or Good Karma brands. Need a vacation? Whether it's the trip of a lifetime or a weekend getaway, we can help. This is the Fox World Travel Show on WTMJ.
Hey, I'm on vacation every single day, every single day.
Good morning. Talk about dedication. She's about to board a plane, but she makes a stop here first. Rose Gray, good morning.
Hey, how are you?
You excited?
I am very excited, but I can't let my listeners down. I got to be here as many weeks as I possibly can. And when I found out they were picking up at Watertown Plank Road, I was like, hey.
There you go.
10:45, I get off at 10. I can easily make that.
Perfect. Yeah. So explain what that means. Picking up, what does that mean?
Oh, that means that I'm going to get on a motor coach, and 11 people are getting on in Fond du Lac, and we have somebody boarding them there, which typically we would do. And then I skedaddle over to Watertown Plank Road, and there I will meet my good friend Gene Miller and another 11 guests. And then we stop at Kenosha Brat Stop and pick up some more people. And then the motor coach is an option. And so if you just want to make your way to O'Hare on our trips, you can do that too. So nice. 44 people going with Gene Miller, special guest Steve Scafidi. And I found out that Gene Miller's BFF from high school is on the trip. How exciting is that going to be? So
it's going to get crazy.
I'm afraid it is, but I will be there to record it all and come back with stories galore, because what happens in Scotland gets reported on the air.
Oh, yeah, it's not Vegas, people.
No.
It's not Vegas. So Scotland, and that's a 12-day, 14-day?
Actually, no. It's on a 10-day.
Oh, really?
10-day.
Okay.
Yep. So Scotland's a pretty small country if you look. And I think Edinburgh is what people think of when they think of Scotland, but we're making a great big giant loop and ending up in Glasgow.
Okay, so 10 days takes you away for next weekend. Who'll be filling in for you?
You'll see Andrea next week.
Andrea, okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So we have FWT again.
We do have FWT.
So if we text the FWT all in caps is the best way to do it to 855-616-1620. What's the link we get back?
So you're getting that same link that you got last week. So if you did it last week, you don't need to do it again, but feel free if you want to be double covered. You will get just a very short form to fill out with a name and an email address. And it's going to say dates. And if you don't know dates, put today's date. It just really doesn't matter. More information you give us, the better we are. But what you're doing there is you're getting on the exclusive list for the big July sale at Fox World Travel that many of you know has happened for 25 plus years with our partners at ALG, formerly known as Apple Vacations. Mm-hmm. And we have done something crazy this year. We have partnered with a cruise line. So we've got Celebrity Cruises on that side of the vacation. And then we've got the Caribbean and Mexico with any of their nonstop flights that they're offering this year, which include Cancun, Puerto Vallarta, Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic, with amazing savings to be had.
Awesome. And that is coming up in July.
That is coming up in July.
Get on the list now so that you're the first person to hear about it.
Exactly. And I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to do something crazy this year, like give those folks a 24-hour head start on everybody else or something like that. So I would be super duper duper vigilant about listening to the show and watching your emails and all that. But you don't have to be quite as vigilant if you're on the list, because then you're going to get a special advance notice.
Nice. All right. So FWT to 855-616-1620. We're talking travel because it's the Fox World Travel Show. Get your calls and texts in. And thanks for listening to WTMJ.
Planning a getaway? Reserve a parking space that includes superior service and value. Exec Park is the only local family-owned valet parking serving travelers using Mitchell Field for over 42 years. Exec Park has an even greater deal for a limited time just for WTMJ fans. It's just $8.50 a day with cash payment when you mention WTMJ. To get terrific valet parking at this amazing rate, make your required parking reservation today. Call 414-747-1000 or visit execpark.com and tell them you're a fan of WTMJ.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Hey, boaters! Inexperienced boaters are more than welcome here, because at Kendor Marine you'll find all the answers to your questions on parts, installation, troubleshooting, and the best part is, when we figure out what you need, we can grab it from our massive inventory of boat parts and supplies that no one around can match. I'm Dave Doro, and boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine, we got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
Hey, boaters!
Where else are you going to find weather stripping for a 77 Carver? That's what he said, and I don't know the answer to that one, but he sure was glad he found it here. I'm Dave Doro with Kendor Marine, and when it comes to boat parts and supplies, we have it all. If you're a boater and you need it, we got it. And that's why you got to get here. Boaters in the know exactly where to go. Kendor Marine, 57th and Ryan Road in Franklin.
Hey, boaters! Cruise to Kendor Marine, we got everything you need but the water.
KendorMarine.com.
And now for the Pella play-by-play, here's Jeff Levering.
Thanks, Gina Della from Pella. What a beautiful day to have new windows and doors installed.
Every day is beautiful because Pella installs year-round during all seasons.
It's so hard to guess that next pitch. The customizations seem endless.
And it doesn't have to be super expensive. Pella has a product line for every budget.
And if it is time for a major upgrade, rest easy by scoring no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply on 6/30/2025.
Take your travel tips from the travel experts. Welcome back to the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Gray on WTMJ.
So we know FWT texted to 855-616-1620. It'll get you signed up so you get the first information on the big July sale coming up in just a few weeks. I mean, we're in the middle of June already.
And I also want to remind everybody that included in those exclusive nonstop vacation flights, which you and I just call charters because that's what they're known to us as. There's also flights out of Rockford. Yes. And we've talked about what an amazing airport that is, how inexpensive it is to park there, how easy it is in general. And they're doing Cancun and Punta Cana, which that's great. But they're also adding Huatulco. Oh. And so that's one of those destinations that kind of some years they offer it and some years they don't. Well, they're offering it this year. So if you're like, yeah, did Puerto Vallarta, did Cancun, did Cozumel, did Ixtapa, what else can I do?
You've just named all the places I've been.
Okay, well then Huatulco should be on your list.
the next one.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of trips, we have another one to announce this week. We've been announcing trips, I think, every week.
It's very true.
Yeah.
This came out of your requests. So this is when you don't see something in our
initial
portfolio or initial launch, or then the subsequent ones that trickle in. Call your advisor, and the more people that do that, which is what happened in this case, the more likely we are to put something together. So we were going to skip Ireland this year. And too many people said, hey, what happened? What happened to that nice traditional Ireland that you do? And it's round trip Dublin. And it's what I love to call the smile, because you go to Dublin, then you go do the whole southern coast.
Sure.
And you do the Ring of Kerry, and you do the Dingle Peninsula, and you do Galway and all of that kind of stuff. And then you come back to Dublin, because it makes perfect sense, because if you flew out of Shannon, which is what we used to do, you're still flying to Dublin anyway. So that'd be like saying, our tour ends in Chicago. Why don't we just fly back out of Milwaukee? That's kind of what's happening there.
Gotcha.
So that's going to be a fun one. That's May 16th to the 24th. So we call that kind of shoulder season. So you're not in the midst of the June, July, August, tourist season, but still they call it the Emerald Isle for some reason. It's green all the time. I shouldn't say that. I was there one time in December. It was pretty gloomy, but yeah, this is a perfectly great
9-day trip. So not too long.
Yep.
Perfect way to see Ireland. And everybody that I've known that has ever gone there loves it.
I couldn't agree more. The people are warm and welcoming. The people are happy to include you when you walk into a pub. They're very small, because especially when you're like in the Temple Bar area or some of those smaller places, nobody says, oh, yes, no, you can't sit at this table. Come one, come all, everybody sits. You all become best friends and have a pint together and sing a few songs, and it's a really good time. So there's an early booking discount on that one if you book by the 31st of August, which I know doesn't sound, it sounds like it's far, far away, but it's not. And then there's an additional passenger discount as well for people who have traveled with any of the TTC brands, because this is a Trafalgar tour.
All right. Another trip announced. I like it. So are there any trips out there we need to push and make sure everybody's aware of before we lose space?
Well, we had that. Yeah, kind of happened last year and last week, and it helped a little. We did get some movement on some of these. My Amazon trip, which is September of 26, South Africa, which is 26, the Mekong, which is 26, and then Colleen has some space left on her Egypt for 25.
Okay.
So I would say that one would be the most critical. But many of these companies, especially when you realize that on that pure Amazon trip that I'm going to be doing, we have a situation where we chartered the entire ship.
Right.
Because there's only 11 or 12 cabins on the ship. So soon they're going to say, hey, we want those cabins back if you're not going to sell them. So don't let that happen. If you are at all interested in this trip, please don't let that happen. I also know that while we're on the Gene Miller trip, his Portugal Vineyards Villages along the Douro River with a 3-night pre-stay in Lisbon is starting to book up too. And we're going to be telling these people on the trip they should be booking.
Right.
So beat that rush and get that conversation started on Monday at 866-GO-FOX-GO, or send an online inquiry.
All right, we're going to take another break. Get your calls and texts in. We're talking travel with Rose Gray on the Fox World Travel Show. 855-616-1620 is the Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line.
Okay, adventurers, listen up. Fox World Travel just dropped some seriously incredible Fox Group vacation destinations for 2026. Set sail on a yacht through the Croatian coastline, join a thrilling African safari, or immerse yourself in the mecca of all flower shows in London. And for the first time, we're introducing a woman's-only tour, partnering with Insight Vacations, Globus, and African Travel. But these are just a few of the exclusive offerings. But don't wait. They're filling up fast. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO to reserve your spot today.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
With over 57 years of experience, family-owned Yutka Fence installs high-quality fencing with residential options, including vinyl, wood, aluminum, chain link, and ornamental fences. Committed to craftsmanship and customer service, Yutka Fence doesn't just build fences, they build relationships based on care, trust, precision, and protecting what matters most. Mention you're a WTMJ fan for 10% off your project. Schedule your free estimate today at yutkafence.com or call 262-859-3226.
Planning a vacation? We've got you covered. You're listening to the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Gray on WTMJ.
If you're just tuning in, don't forget you can find the podcast after the show is done on the Fox World Travel page. That's foxworldtravel.com. You can also find it on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Dayton, Kane, and Rose Gray here, taking your calls and texts on the Sighting Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line. That's 855-616-1620. Is the July sale exclusive to Fox World Travel, or will the same deals be available directly through Apple Vacations website?
Excellent question. I should have been more clear about that. It is exclusive to Fox World Travel. It is the biggest sale Apple Vacation has with any of their travel partners in the nation.
Yes.
And so we've proven ourselves to be worthy, and so it's over 25 years. That much I can tell you. And so no, you have to book with Fox World Travel. Now we will have a link that will put you into this program that will put the discounts in.
Okay.
And then if you want to do it that way, you can. If you absolutely know where you're going and absolutely know your dates and all that kind of thing. That doesn't happen very often. Lots of times people are like, we're open to anything. We just need to get out of Wisconsin in February. Yeah. How do we go about doing that? So
now this year it's not only Fox World Travel, FunJet, Apple, it's Celebrity Cruises.
Exactly.
And we have a question here that came in on the text line that says, on Celebrity Cruises, what is the biggest discount they offer on dining or drink packages?
I wish I could look into my crystal ball and answer that question, because we never know when there are going to be specials. So the texter is referring to the drink packages that you can purchase on Celebrity Cruises, which, if you break it down, typically turns out to be a good deal based on your alcohol consumption.
Sure.
If you just have one glass of wine with dinner, that's it? Probably not. However, if you're a big soda drinker, soda's not included, right? On what you get for free on a cruise line is going to be water, coffee, tea, and in some cases, iced tea, lemonade.
Okay.
That's it. So, we have lots of people who are big Coke or Pepsi drinkers. And so it's just tough to say. So they've got a non-alcoholic package, which you can purchase for just those people who are absolutely needing to have that caffeine fix in another form other than coffee. Oh, then they have the classic drink package, and then they've got the premium drink package. And then there are dining packages that you can buy as well, because there are specialty restaurants on all of your food is included on on Celebrity Cruises and on any cruise line, essentially. But there are always specialty restaurants that are going to have a slight upcharge. So you want to go eat at the steakhouse, you want to go eat at the Asian fusion restaurant, those kinds of things. They not only have a little upcharge, they also will likely require reservations.
Okay.
And here's the other thing I should point out. Because Fox World Travel is a member of Signature Travel Network, which is the consortium that we belong to, we get perks and benefits like you've never seen before. I'm talking like crazy. I just once again saw a testimonial from one of our advisors on this group chat that we have, saying they got a quote from Celebrity. They went to Signature Travel. Signature Travel had same sailing, better price, onboard credits. Which, what do you do with those? You use them for the spa, you use them for excursions, those kinds of things, and some discounts on dining packages and drink packages. And so in the end, she just bundled the whole thing up, and it was a far better offer than booking directly with Celebrity itself.
You guys have pull.
We do. We're big. 30. I think last week we might have misspoke. We might have said top 25. I think we're in the 34. We're 34th in the nation.
Okay.
But what that's based on is sales. And people say, "Whoa, are you losing sales?" No. What's happening is players like Expedia and Hopper, and Trivago and some of those other companies have now gained so much steam that their sales collectively are more than Fox World Travels. So, and we all know how I feel about third-party hotel bookings, so we don't need to go into that again.
855-616-1620 if you have a question. This one just came in. When does the nonstop out of Rockford start, and what are the days of the week they will go to the destinations offered?
So they're doing Cancun Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. They're doing Huatulco on Fridays. And they're doing Punta Cana on Thursdays and Sundays.
Okay. And when does those start?
Pretty much let's call it the last week of January.
Last week of January.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to run the last week of January through what would be basically the week before Easter. So April 1st, the 29th of March, those kinds of things.
But
so
they're already out there. You can book them now.
You absolutely can book them out there. And as I said, if you've never flown out of Rockford, think Green Bay or Appleton. And which, by the way, Colleen just flew out of Appleton. She happens to be in Alaska with a group right now and said the new terminal at Appleton Airport is mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They did a big upgrade of like 5 years ago. It was nice. So now it's even better.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. And it's almost like a joke when you go to those smaller ones in the fact that you're like, is it really this easy? Is it this not crowded like the other big airports
And you
are?
used to have to give up some amenities, i.e. restaurants that were open when you were there. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Yeah.
They are competing with the big dogs. So although we talked a week or two ago about why it's important for us to continue to promote Milwaukee MKE as well, because the more we fly out of Milwaukee, the more the better our service is going to be with regard to nonstop service and routes.
Okay. Before we go to the news, remind people what Fox World Travel is all about.
Yeah, so Fox World Travel is been in business since 1960, and we are a full-service travel agency that does vacation travel, business travel, and meetings and incentives travel. I work on the sexy side, which is the vacation side of things, but if you need help managing your travel and you happen to have a company and things are going a bit awry, we can help you with that. We've got a destination wedding team within our vacation team. As you all know, we've got the groups team, which is within the vacation team. So I encourage people to check out our website. I'm not bragging, am I Dayton, when I say that is one heck of a website.
Yeah, it's got everything you need, and it's very visually interesting as well. So they did a good job on that. All right, we're going to take a break over the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Elizabeth Lintonen. Good morning, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Dayton. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I am Elizabeth Lintonen. Law enforcement officials, the FBI, and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz are on the scene of two separate but nearby shootings in the northern suburbs of Minneapolis. Sources tell ABC News that two Democratic lawmakers were shot in their homes, and authorities believe the shooter was impersonating a law enforcement officer. The condition of the two victims is said to be grave. ABC's chief investigative reporter Josh Margolin brings us up to date.
We have a former Speaker of the State House and a state senator, both Democrats. Not saying that party has anything to do with it at all at this point, but both are Democrats. Apparently, they were in their separate homes near each other, and allegedly they were shot by the same perpetrator. Perpetrator is now on the run. The injuries are serious, grave. It's a very serious situation. The governor is on site.
A manhunt for the suspect is ongoing. It's not just financial issues facing Milwaukee Public Schools. A new report is shining a light on a bevy of problems plaguing the state's largest school district.
Inadequate teacher training, a lack of collaboration across the district, and an inconsistent use of core curriculum, all issues highlighted in an audit published today by the consulting group MGT. The audit is the second of two reports requested by Governor Tony Evers to, in his words, get the district back on track. The governor's request comes as the state is withholding tens of millions of dollars in aid to the district amid a backlog of missing financial reports. The report today called for restructuring the district's central office, setting clear priorities, and improving district-wide communication. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're still looking at a major construction closure heading eastbound on I-43, which is causing some delays if you're heading onto I-43 southbound on I-41. Other than that, we're seeing no major incidents and no major delays.
Traffic is sponsored by the Amazing Mineshaft Restaurant in downtown Hartford.
Your Father's Day all-you-can-eat buffet is under $20 at the Mineshaft Family Restaurant in Hartford and Oshkosh. Kids under 3, eat free. Google and reserve today. It's the Mineshaft.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, partly cloudy, high of 68 at the lake, 75 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 56 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy with scattered showers and storms, high of 73 at the lake, 76 inland. Monday, chance of afternoon showers and storms, partly sunny, high of 77 at the lake, 83 inland. Tuesday, showers and storms likely, warm and humid, high of 84 degrees. Wednesday, rain and storms, mostly cloudy, high of 78. Right now in Madison, it's 61 degrees. In Waukesha, it's 62 degrees. And in Milwaukee, it's 57 degrees. I'm Elizabeth Linton, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 9:33.
Summerfest is almost here.
Hey, the music.
Benson Boone.
The food.
Saz's sampler platter.
All the things that make Summerfest great, and we're going to send you
to all 9 days.
Hey, it's Summerfest on us.
Keep it tuned to WTMJ for your chance to win tickets to every single day of Summerfest.
We'll have your opportunity on our show, Wisconsin's Midday News, to go to Summerfest on us.
Happy Summerfest from all of us right here at WTMJ.
If you haven't called Siding Unlimited for new windows, what are you waiting for? This is Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, and I want to share with you a couple stories. Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. Loved her windows were warmer and her roof didn't leak. Also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Will interest rates go up or down? We'll know much more June 18th when the Fed announces its next rate decision. Do you wonder how the announcement will impact your decisions, maybe your portfolio? Join Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Dr. Brian Jacobson, for Instant Insight. 2 p.m., June 18th, Instant Insight is when Annex kind of goes live after important announcements like the Fed announcement to help explain what it means for you and for your money. It's free. Register now at WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com, June 18th, 2 p.m.
For WTMJ contest rules, visit WTMJ.com/contests.
Plan a perfect vacation, no matter your budget. This is the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Gray on WTMJ.
This is kind of interesting. Les Paul's 110th birthday celebration going on at Discovery World today and tomorrow. You could win a Resonator guitar if you go out there.
Okay, do people know who Les Paul is, or do we have to tell them?
So. Waukesha people definitely know.
For sure. For sure.
He's the guy that invented the electric guitar, right? Yes. And then he had the weird voice thing that makes you sound like a
the
robot.
Synthesizer or the whatever it was.
Yeah. So, yeah. Waukesha definitely knows because that was the home of Les Paul. So you're going away to Scotland today.
Yes.
Leaving today.
Yes.
Walk us through the Rose Gray preparation. What does a person need to do when they're going on a longer trip like this?
So I make sure I had 0 alcohol yesterday.
Oh,
that's just one of my rules. Yep. It dehydrates you, and already the cabins on these aircraft are dehydrating enough as it is. Yep. You ever feel your skin when you get off? You're itchy. You don't feel. So anyway, I don't need a second thing to dehydrate me. We've talked about this before. It's absolutely a personal decision whether you're going to drink in flight or not. Many times, most times, often on international flights, beer and wine, and in some cases, beer, wine, and spirits are included even in economy class. And so it's kind of human nature if you are...
Get free booze, you want to drink it,
Thanks.
right?
Dayton, I did not want to say it like that, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. So the other thing is just make sure you have water. You're going to have to get rid of all of your water before you go through the TSA, right? Because you can only can't take 3 ounces of liquid or less. And so if you've got a reusable water bottle, good for you. Thank you on behalf of the environment. If not, go to one of the shops and grab yourself a bottle or 2 of water, because I just got done talking to somebody who did not prepare properly, and they sat on the tarmac for 2 hours, and so they had no water. So the flight attendants can, while you're on the tarmac, get you water, but it was at their schedule and at their amount, at, their
The
discretion.
little plastic cup.
Exactly. And so we absolutely positively wanted to make sure that everybody knows that that's something. And again, have a couple snacks probably with you as well, because if you're sitting around for a while, there you go. I'm traveling internationally, so my rule is I always have some currency, not tons, but this time I was 200 pounds.
Okay.
Of currency to have for my arrival. People go, oh, I'll get it when I'm there. Okay, you got to find an ATM machine or you've got to go to the currency exchange in the airport, neither of which are giving you great rates on your exchange. Certainly when you buy it from your bank, you're not maybe getting the best rate either, but I just like to have it because people go, well, why can't I just tip them in US dollars? How would you like it if somebody came here from Scotland and said, hey, I can only pay you in British pounds, which is their currency.
Yeah.
And, oh, sorry, you're going to have to take it or you get nothing. Kind of a thing.
Right, right. And if you're with a group, you don't want to be searching for stuff like that, holding up the group when you land.
Exactly.
Okay.
So another thing we should also be prepared for is, do you sleep or do you not? And how do you prepare for that? I do not sleep on airplanes, but there are some people that do, and they get themselves nice and cozy, and they swear by noise-canceling headphones and an eye mask if they're going to sleep. Because we're leaving at 4:00 in the afternoon. We're flying a little under 7 hours to Dublin, and so now we're flying during the night. They give you a meal for dinner. They typically give you some sort of a breakfast snack of some sort. And that's what happens. And all things, they also say you should get up and walk around a little bit to prevent blood clots and cramping.
Yep.
So
do most phone carriers these days have international? I don't have to worry about that anymore, or is that something I should check out before I go?
You definitely should check out before you go, because if you don't check it out and you just use your phone, and first of all, it'll probably block you from using it if you haven't purchased an international plan, but not all of them do. And then all of a sudden, you're just racking up per minute charges. I know the bigs like Verizon and AT&T have a really awesome plan, which is $10 a day.
Sure.
So, to me, that's just really, really a good way to go. But everybody's different. I know some people use Cricket and some people use what's some of those other the old
US
Jitterbug.
Cellular?
I have US Cellular.
Yeah.
They have an okay plan. It is not the best. I happen to have a company international phone when I travel. They use AT&T, and it is by far and away the best.
Okay, and then I go to travel.state.gov and I register?
Yep, and we're going to do, because we register on the STEP program, and there you can find anything you need to know about the country to which you are traveling, or countries. You put them in, and in fact, I was just in the Brookfield office doing an interview with Channel 4 this past Monday, and somebody wanted to travel to a Mexican or Caribbean destination that had a level 1 security warning. Those are hard to come by, because many countries are on a level 2, including Italy and Germany and all that kind of thing. We talked last week a little bit about how that might be politically motivated, which we will not get into on this show. But that's what you do. So you register your international trip at Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It's the STEP program. You tell them where you're going, how long you're going to be gone, give them any contact information you can. And in the event there would be some reason that the United States government needs to get you out of there, they can find you.
You want Big Brother watching a little bit on this one.
Exactly.
So that they can help.
Exactly.
They don't know where you are, they can't get you.
Exactly. And people say, oh, I really want the United States government to know where I am. Guess what? The moment you swipe your passport, they know where you are. So,
and you're carrying a cell phone typically.
Exactly. Another website, Dayton, that we should probably talk about is the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. And because we do have a question regarding what vaccinations do they need before they go to Costa Rica.
There you go.
And so I just went to the websites, and then I had the wherewithal to put in Costa Rica. This is where we talk about what is required and what is recommended. So recommended does not mean that you have to have these things. They're saying recommended is routine vaccinations, which are shingles, polio, measles, mumps, rubella, the flu, diphtheria, chickenpox, none of which are required. COVID, not required. Hep A, hepatitis A and B, suggested, not required. Malaria, suggested, not required. So truthfully, there are no required immunizations unless you are coming from a country that is experiencing yellow fever.
Okay.
So, but we do not play doctors. We just tell you, go to your physician. Your physician is going to be the one that can answer that question. And then the next question was, do you need to exchange cash? Again, my mantra, my motto, the way I travel is I always have a small amount of foreign currency for the country that I'm going to go to. But actually, truth be told, Costa Rica actually takes U.S. cash pretty well.
All right, we are going to take a break. Get your calls and texts in at 855-616-1620. Rose Gray, Dayton, Kane. It's the Fox World Travel Show on WTMJ.
EAA AirVenture Oshkosh, July 21st through the 27th. Bring the whole family. 18 and under get in free, thanks in part to the Boeing Company. 1 week, endless possibilities. 7 straight days of the world's greatest aviation celebration. Jaw-dropping daily air shows, hands-on activities, world-class aircraft, evening entertainment, truly something for everyone. Secure your tickets now. Early bird discount ends June 15th. Visit EAA.org/tickets today before time runs out. See you at Oshkosh.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Fleet Farm is the place to stock up on supplies for all your furry and feathered friends. Get a 40-pound bag of Sprout Mixed Bits cat food for just $25.99. Save $5 on all bags of Nutrisource dry dog food. And for you backyard birders, 20 pounds of KT Basic Blend bird food is now only $11.99. Count on your local Fleet Farm for the best prices guaranteed on all your feed, seed, and pet care needs. And find even more weekly deals at fleetfarm.com.
Father's Day is Sunday. Take your father to the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill. Buy one dinner, get one free tonight through Sunday, including desserts and ice cream drinks. Yeah, buy one, get one free even on Father's Day. Google foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Gotta get away? No one does it better. Back to more of the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Gray on WTMJ.
It'll be mostly sunny today. A high of 68 near the lake, into the 70s inland. Dayton, Kane, and Rose Gray here. It is currently 59 and sunny in Milwaukee. 855-616-1620. That is the line you call in or text in. And we have a question here that says, how does a cell phone work on a cruise ship?
Well, not great unless you've been very prepared. So typically when you are on a cruise ship, you will likely incur serious roaming charges if you use your cell phone to make phone calls on cellular data. Okay, so because it's got to find some satellite to ping off of. And so it is just looking and looking and looking. But you can use your Wi-Fi. So you buy a Wi-Fi package. And again, people are going to say, oh, I remember, I was on a cruise in 1997 and I paid by the minute and it was slower than slow. They've improved a great deal. So if you've got like WhatsApp or Skype or Teams or any of those kinds of things, you basically can communicate. Like I can FaceTime people because I'm using Wi-Fi. iPhone to iPhone messaging works, that kind of a thing. There is also a service called Cellular at Sea. And there are the bigs offer that one. And maybe check into that. So back in the day, I would have said, get yourself a satellite phone. They're really, really inexpensive, and you can either rent them or buy them and all that kind of thing. The Wi-Fi has improved so much that if you need to keep in touch with somebody that way, that's the way to do it.
Makes sense.
Yep.
Another one here says, when's the best time to buy flights for spring break? April 3rd.
Yeah. So here's the thing. We all know that Easter in 2026 is April 5th. And so that you look at a calendar, and what that's going to do is even restrict the people who are traveling more. You're going to see that last partial week of March and into April 3rd, which is Good Friday. That's going to be really, really busy. And then Good Friday until the next week is going to be busy. Now, interestingly enough, I think we talked about this a week or two ago. These nonstop exclusive nonstop vacation flights, aka charters, end in almost every case the last week of March. So they're not even going that next week. We always say this with regard to buying airline tickets. Again, a crystal ball would be very, very helpful for us. So we can say, this is when that flight is going to go down. If you are locked into a time, you have zero or little flexibility, I would be watching for a little bit longer. And then when it's time for you to make that decision, buy them, don't look back, right? Because you have to go when you have to go. And we have people now who are booking these charters because they know they're in the school system, whether that they're teaching or whether they've got kids that are too old to take them out or whatever it might be. But then we've got that whole other group of people that are saying, hey, I can go anytime, then maybe wait for the sale. So that's kind of how that's working. But again, when you're looking for specific time, specific destination, again, it could be spring break. It could be you're going to celebrate somebody's birthday or somebody's anniversary, or, my mother and father were married 50 years and they live in Florida. You kind of know when you got to go to that, and then you just basically buy it.
All right. We're going to take our final break. Keep your calls and texts coming in at 855-616-1620 or text FWT to that number and get in on the exclusive. You'll know before everybody else what's happening with that July sale if you fill out that form. So don't miss out on that. It is a Fox World Travel Show. This is WTMJ.
It's time to shuffle the deck. And unfortunately for you, a win isn't in the cards.
Smash to center, backing up Michael Harris Jr. Back onto the track, turning, watching it fly. It's up, it's gone! Jackson Chorio.
The Brewers host the Cardinals for a 4-game series. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 2:35. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
What's wrong, Ben?
Nicole can read my mind, Arvid.
What?
We were talking about the optionizable Ashton recliner at Penny Mustard.
I said I'd like it in leather, and she said...
Done.
I suggested a different leg color, and she said...
Done.
Spooky.
Look, I don't think Nicole can really read your mind.
Well, not anymore. That's why I'm wearing this tinfoil hat.
It smells fishy.
I wrap my lunch in it.
The Ashton recliner, starting at $28.70 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
For people with disabilities, an opportunity can make all the difference. Get help navigating the transition into adulthood, employment, housing, healthcare, and more with Thinkability Wisconsin, a resource hub that empowers people with disabilities.
So this job makes me feel very confident. My goal is always to grow myself and learn new things.
Live life to the fullest. It all starts when you say yes. Contact a Thinkability Navigator to get help at thinkabilitywi.org.
We know that the people of Milwaukee are hard workers, that they're tough. But even the toughest among us need help after a serious accident. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine, that's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station. Before you pack your suitcase, hear from the experts. Here's more of the Fox World Travel Show with Rose Gray on WTMJ.
Final segment here, taking your text at 855-616-1620. This one says, FYI, very soon all T-Mobile customers with recent phones will be able to directly use Elon Musk's Starlink. Yeah, that's interesting.
And actually, our property up north has terrible internet service, so we are looking at Starlink. It's just not very inexpensive.
No. Well, it's if you're an early adapter, nothing is, right?
Yes, exactly.
Another one here says, please ask Rose if she wears compression socks on long flights. I find them uncomfortable. And then it says, see you tomorrow in Edinburgh, Rose. That's from Michelle.
So Michelle is one of the people who is not taking the motor coach to Chicago, but chose to fly a different way, which we talk about this all the time. That's absolutely acceptable. You do not have to take the airfare that we're providing. I don't wear compression socks either because I too find them uncomfortable. I feel like they're just absolutely are doing what they're supposed to do. Absolutely suck you in so that your ankles aren't all swollen. But they help. There are people who couldn't fly without them because of blood clots and swelling and all that kind of thing. So again, check with your physician. If they say, yeah, that's absolutely the way you have to do it, then you have to do it.
All right, so tell us one more time your trip. You're going to be gone next week. Yep. Andrea's going to be filling in.
That's correct. And so this is going to be kind of, I'm giddy with anticipation and excitement because can you imagine Gene Miller and Steve Scafidi on the same trip? So that he's out next week. His Hawaii sold out.
Already?
Yep, sold out.
I know he was pushing it.
Yep, so he was talking about what he's going to plan for 27. So it certainly did call for a wait list if you feel so inclined. But at this point in time, it's not like when we do river cruising or big ship cruising where we can go grab a couple more cabins. When the motor coach is full, the motor coach is full. And so that's the way that works. So we also told everybody this morning about the new Ireland trip that was just launched. It's called the Best of Ireland. I can't say enough about what a great title that is because it is the best of Ireland. It's the Ring of Kerry and the Dingle Peninsula and Galway and the Cliffs of Moher and all of those things. And so I would absolutely recommend getting that conversation started with your travel advisor. It is now Monday through Friday hours, which is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But you can get a hold of anybody by using that Plan Your Trip button or texting FWT to get on the exclusive list. So you will be the first person to know all of the details about the holy cow, are you kidding me? Apple Vacation Sale partnering with Celebrity Cruise Lines this year. Never have we partnered with anybody else. We've always done one exclusive trip, and now we've got all of our cruisers covered and all of our people that are looking for those great all-inclusive resorts in Mexico and the Caribbean.
Well, Rose Gray, that happens in July. What week?
I wish I knew.
I know.
Actually, they learned some time ago just to not even tell us because we say loose lips sink ships, and then somebody blabs it. And then it goes viral and all of that kind of thing. So for those of you who have been working with us for that sale year in and year out, you can guess when it's going to be. But at this point in time, I can't even tell you because I really don't know.
But the nice thing about texting FWT to 855-616-1620 is you'll get an alert when it happens. It'll actually, well, they'll tell you.
They will absolutely tell you. And that, like I said, I feel like they're going to do something like give you a 24 head start on everybody else and open those just up to you, unless you tell friends and family, because that's how that's going to work. But before it goes big on the weekend. So that's another little hint for you. FWT, Fox World Travel. But you should do that in all uppercase to 855-616-1620, and voila, you will get a link back that will give you an opportunity to say, yep, get me on the list. And again, if you're sitting back going, I'm already on the list, or I get the newsletter, I must be on the list. Why take chances? Just go ahead and fill that little thing out right now. Then you know you're good.
All right. Fox World Travel Show. If you're just tuning in, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Also gets loaded to foxworldtravel.com. You're on your way out. Before you leave, wrap it up again. What does Fox World Travel all do?
So we basically have vacation travel, business travel, and meetings and incentives. Within those, there are some divisions. The meetings and incentives thing is you want to incentivize your staff in some way, shape, or form. They do that. You want to honor them. You want to reward them. Or you're going to have one big giant sales meeting like, hey, Eric Brown, how about you take your whole entire staff to this fabulous resort and have a 4-day conference / team building / fun vacation for them all. Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
Sounds genius.
So.
All right. We will see you in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you.
Say hi to Mr. Miller and Mr. Scafidi for me.
Yes, I will.
And thanks for being here to take her to the airport, Larry.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So we never said it. He said, do I have to speak? I said, not only do you not have to speak, you can sit there quietly and we won't even mention you. But
And then I did it. All right. Danny Clayton and the crew from Annex Wealth Management coming in next with Money Talk, and we'll check into the WTMJ Breaking News Center with Elizabeth Lintonen. Have a great week.
The preceding program, the Fox World Travel Show, is paid for in full by Fox World Travel. The advice and opinions expressed during the Fox World Travel Show are solely that of the hosts and guests of Fox World Travel and not WTMJ or Good Karma Brands.
When people think sleep apnea, they think CPAP. Now at Advent, we do all we can to help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine. And most sleep apnea sufferers who come to Advent are going to be able to avoid a CPAP altogether. Our unique Advent approach using simple in-office solutions can get your nose working and throat open all under one roof. You see, the root of every snoring and obstructive sleep apnea problem lies within the throat, nose, or both. At Advent, we know when we get the nose and throat working properly, most snoring and sleep apnea problems will subside. And we have the most simple and convenient, ultra-effective in-office solutions that can do just that. And this is why people have traveled by planes, trains, and automobiles from corners of the world you would never think of to find the sleep apnea and snoring relief you won't find elsewhere.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Most insurance accepted.
Those little birds from St. Louis better take shelter. There's a storm brewing in Milwaukee.
Swing and a miss. Pages is gone. 1-0-1 on the fastball from Mizorowski. 5 scoreless in his big league debut.
Our Brewers Radio Network coverage starts today at 2:35. The Brewers take on the Cardinals.